Back.
Hi.
My name is Cynthia. And
This is Dina.
hi, it's good to see you again. Well, not see you, but you know what I mean. Anyways, we're very happy that you're back, and today we are going to be talking about all of the changes that have been happening in the Jehovah Witnesses organization recently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, within the past, what would you say, 1 or 2 years?
I would say so, maybe.
Yeah. Um, it's there have been so many, so fast.
Yeah, a lot, and it's interesting. It's interesting to see.
Exactly. It's especially because when we were growing up, it was there were no changes.
Mm-hmm.
It was like written in stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think it's. I personally think it's several different reasons why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Just my own personal theories.
Okay.
Um.
Well, let's see the changes first. Let's talk about what the changes
Okay.
are. Okay. So we know that they have changed. Women can wear pants now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another thing is men can grow beards. Big no back then. What else?
They can toast. That was, I think, the
We
most
can
recent
toast.
was.
Yes, that was also prohibited when we were going to the Kingdom Hall. And also, I think I'm missing one. What is the last one that I'm
Speaking
missing?
to disfellowshipped.
Speaking to this
Saying
fellowship.
hello.
That is oh, and the string lights.
The string lights.
So many. So speaking to this fellowship, string lights, pants, beards, and toast.
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
that we can name right
Yeah.
out of the top of our heads. So okay. So why do you think that is?
I don't know. I feel like I personally believe that they've just been losing a lot of members
Mm-hmm.
for maybe within the past 5 years.
Okay.
And it's just not what it used to be. I remember when Kingdom halls were packed. You would drive up there, like you couldn't even find parking. It was like jam packed, and they would, now it's like they're having to merge congregations. They're having to shut down Kingdom halls. They're having to do all this extra stuff because people are just leaving. And so they're happy, like they're having to like make some changes to kind of appease to newcomers and people who are still there, and not be so rigid about their rules, because they're finally realizing maybe that
It's keeping
it's too
people.
strict, and
Yeah.
people just aren't happy with that. And then also they're losing money, so they have to do something to make up for it. Like, okay,
Losing money.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say that they're losing money, how would they be losing money?
To me, they're losing money because they're losing people. They're losing members. So
Do you think COVID had anything to do with that?
I think COVID had a big thing to do with that.
Yeah.
A lot.
I could definitely see, right? Because people it takes a lot of effort to get ready for a meeting.
That does, yeah.
You know that,
Seriously.
especially when you have children. You have to, start getting ready like 2 hours in advance. I know in my case, sometimes 3. If it was like a special event, get the girls' hair ready. Make sure Jeremy's suit was ready and pressed, and
it's a lot.
Yeah, a lot went into it.
Yeah.
Which
you're just getting off of work, you're tired, now you have to get ready and go right back out, turn right back around, and leave the house again.
Yeah, so people probably got comfortable just
Yeah.
being at home and not having to go through all of that, getting ready again. You just probably in your PJs. You don't really have to turn on your cameras. But I do remember that that's one of the biggest things that when I was attending remotely, they would encourage us to turn on our cameras. That's probably one of the reasons. Hey, people are getting too lax. They're probably just chilling in their PJs watching the meeting. So let's get them back into the habit. So if we don't go to the meetings, what do you think happens? Why isn't money being generated?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's less people donating, less people there for free labor.
Consume.
For free
True.
labor to maintain their kingdom halls and clean and mow the lawn or whatever it is. So
True. No, that is true, because the
Yeah.
less that you attend, the less likely, like before, we would have to we would take rotations. So depending on which Bible study group you pertained, then you were on a rotation for your particular kingdom hall to clean the grounds, to clean the kingdom hall, to do the maintenance. And they basically do not pay anybody for their services.
Yeah.
You know, that is something that I'm thinking, you know, taking a step back and thinking now, I'm like,
it's free labor.
Wow,
Even
yes.
constructing kingdom halls, even like building them, they actually, like, these people from the congregation are the ones building the kingdom halls, which is crazy because they're not construction workers. They don't know anything
It's
about
volunteer hours.
It's voluntary, and that's kind of weird to me, because it's like these people don't know how to build a house or anything about construction. So why are they using them to
Well,
build?
supposedly
So
they have witnesses who are licensed to construct, right?
Okay.
So they have overseers that help oversee the project and make
Okay.
sure that everything's going accordingly. But, you know, I did watch a documentary a couple of years back, and it was two young couples, and they had established some type of organization. It was a very weird setup, but they would record themselves constantly and able to have content, right? So when they were digging through the content that they had created, because they did get into some legal trouble, they went through their content and they were saying, well, you know, we need more volunteers because that's how we avoid taxes and reduce our expenses. And I'm like, that hit me. Like, hearing that really resonated.
Yeah, there's your answer.
Exactly. It did resonate. I was like, wow, witnesses volunteer every minute. They do not get paid for their services.
Yeah.
Elders do not get paid for their services. However, I will tell you this. That was another contributing factor as to why I left the organization, because the monthly broadcasts that they do, I simply could not get over how some of these speakers had this gaudy jewelry. And so I'm like, okay, so if elders are not getting paid, and these are the people that have full-time jobs, full-time responsibilities, right? They don't live in Bethel. They don't have their speeches written for them. They don't have departments that are allocated for different responsibilities, right? Like most of the people that you see speaking on the monthly broadcast. I mean, these are everyday normal life people that have responsibilities, plus then have to go back home, get ready, prepare their talks, do research, go out, do their house calls, survey the flock. And so I was really taken aback by that when I saw the first broadcast, and then I saw the gaudy jewelry that they were using. I was like, excuse me, something's not adding up here. And so, yeah, now that you mentioned that, where is that money going? I think I know where the money is going. I do remember my mom telling me when I told her, hey, I'm going to be honest, I have never watched the broadcast. It's been like over, I don't know how many years, like 2 years. And I'm like, I just don't watch it. I cannot get over their jewelry.
Yeah.
I can't. It's like some of those rings look like they won an NFL, like a Super Bowl, girl. And so
Wow.
She's like, why don't you write a letter, and tell them? And I was like so taken aback by that. I'm like, why am I the one writing a letter? They should know better. They're the ones that tell us to live modestly. But
hypocritical seeing that.
Exactly. And like you said, they're not making money. So clearly some of those funds are being utilized for
stuff like fancy jewelry. Some Rolex watches and some fancy rings and stuff.
Yeah. And it's, it's still it's disappointing to me and heartbreaking because that's not what I want to believe that is taking place. But then when you're realistic and, like I said, take a step back, then you're like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you have to see it for what it really is. And exactly. I feel like, at the end of the day, religions, like, this is what they do. Like, they collect money. They have to use it some kind of way. It's tax free. They don't pay taxes. They're tax exempt. Free. And,
true.
It's
even like, more money. So all the money from the contributions, right? There's only so much you could do. Yes, granted, they have to pay their expenses, their light, their water, Wi-Fi, rent on the building space or whatever, but it's getting constructed for free. It's getting maintained for free. And it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting that, and then we're an organization. I'm no longer a part of it, but they're an organization that it's not like every other that I have seen, or most others that I have seen, that has resources, that have the funds, and then let's say the recent disaster that took place in the Hill Country, and the Texas Hill Country. They're not an organization that says, hey, let's donate XYZ amount of money.
They never donate, ever.
Yes. And
they don't even pray for anybody outside, which is interesting to me. I never hear them pray about people outside the organization.
Well, when they do pray, it's more in general. They're always addressing the brothers, right? The worldwide brotherhood. They're the ones that do get help. They're the ones that get their houses rebuilt, but never do they
anyone outside the organization, right?
No, anyone outside of the organization, which it's sad.
It's sad, and it kind of contradicts everything they stand for, because they call themselves a religion that's based off true love. You know us by the fruits of our love, or whatever it is, that scripture that they're always referencing, with Jesus talking about love. And it's like, where's the love? Because, you only spread it amongst yourselves, as far as I could see.
True.
So
it's true. So, it's not like the funds are going out back to the community. It's being kept somewhere, I wonder where. But back to the changes. Okay. Women wearing pants.
Women can wear pants, yeah.
To the Kingdom Hall.
Kingdom Hall.
Mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Yeah, we never saw that growing up.
No,
I never did. No,
I was there until a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
or two, and no, unheard of.
And I can see, like, there would be a rare occasion where somebody would come in late from work or something like that, and they would sit like way in the back in the second school
where nobody would see them.
And then even then, they probably get ugly looks and kind of like people looking at them kind of weird, and
they didn't take the time to put on their skirts or their dresses, which that was an added expense. I will tell you this. I mean, getting ready for the meeting, not only getting ready, but knowing what you were going to wear and making sure that you weren't repeating the same outfits over and over, because I was conscientious. Whenever you went, I'm sure that you were conscientious about it. So that's a huge expense.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course it is. Like buying your outfits for the assembly all 3 days, and
that was
coordinate everything, your jewelry, your all the whole nine.
That was a big thing. And then the beards.
Men
growing beards. Men growing beards.
Men growing beards, yeah.
They were always told to keep their grooming. Keep up with their grooming. And facial hair was a big no-no. A big no-no. And the thing is that them backpedaling on this, because that's what it is, right? You're backpedaling.
Yeah.
So backpedaling on this is like, wait a second, you're actually reading Bible verses to us, to tell us, to tell the men, why they should maintain with their grooming and not wear beards.
And what was interesting to me is that all their literature contained illustrations of men with beards all the time, which is like stupid. Because like, what were you
Jesus,
doing?
that's
Like,
true. Like true.
Jesus,
yeah. When
they all had beards.
Yeah.
So it's like, so okay.
Yeah, my husband did tell me that. He would constantly tell me that. He's like, I can't get over why they don't allow men to.
It's just a control thing. It's just, that's all they care about is control.
Yeah, back to the bite mentality that we were talking about in the prior episode.
Exactly. It's mind control, and that's all. It's a tactic. It's a tactic. That's all it is. It's a control tactic. Like them having control over these little insignificant rules that they make up that really make no difference on anyone else. Like a man growing a beard, how is that going to affect anybody else?
But then, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, that Bible verse that says that if you're faithful in the few, you're faithful in the, how does it go?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Faithful in the small or the few, and then it proves loyalty basically, because it's something as small as not shaving your beard, right? If they get you to do that, then there are many other things that they can get you to subjugate to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a shocker. Oh, you can toast.
You can toast. You can toast. Cheers. Yeah, you can toast.
And nothing happened. And nothing's falling from the sky.
Exactly. It was always a superstition thing, right? That was their reasoning behind it.
They would say that it had pagan origins. You were basically giving that praise to a person instead of
God. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. When in reality, toasting is a very common practice, and not only is it a very common practice, it is a sign of intercultural respect. For example, if you are toasting and there are people of other cultures, you raising their glass and toasting, granted, not to everything that they're saying, but if they're just blessing a couple, if they're just wishing a person that their new business venture is successful, things like that, it is an imperative that you raise your glass and you toast with them, because it's seen as a sign of disrespect not to do so. Like, say, hey, you don't wish well upon these people. Yeah. What's wrong with you? So I know that I personally, with work, with the several weddings that I went to, I was kind of like given the side eye when I would not participate in the toast. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. And I actually remember at my own, when I got married, they were toasting to me and my ex-husband. And like my mom, my brother, his wife, they had to like explain to everybody that, we're witnesses, we don't toast, blah, blah, blah. To me, it was embarrassing. It was like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah, let's be real. It was embarrassing. But then, do you think that has something to do with it? The generational, the new generation that came in is just basically saying, hey, we think that's silly.
I think that's part of it. Yeah, I think that's why they're losing all the members they're losing, because this new generation, the young people nowadays, they have this, as they're getting, with each passing generation, they have more access to technology and information. These Generation Alpha, Generation Z, Gen Zers, they grew up with an iPad in their face. So, they know
it's a common practice.
So they have access to information, and they're more woke, so to speak, than previous generations. Like with us, we grew up without technology. The internet didn't come until maybe like,
we had nothing to compare it to, like to say, hey, really, what is behind toasting? What is that person really trying to say? Are they truly? And in reality, they're not even worshiping anybody nor giving them praise or anything. If anything, it's commendation. It's saying like good wishes, best wishes to you in this new venture and this new chapter of your life. has nothing to do with pagan
Right.
spirits.
Exactly. Like none at all.
Nor taken away from God. And string lights.
String lights.
Whoa, Dina. That is huge. String lights.
I never really knew that string lights was a rule, to be honest. I never.
Yeah, well,
so many rules that I just didn't even know that one was a rule. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So from what I saw in some of the excerpts from other podcasters was that they basically said that, hey, we have in Bethel, we have some people that just hang up their lights, right? And they just make sure to turn it off during the holidays. But if you want to turn on your lights, you know, you want to have string lights, it's just a matter of conscience. So you can have them. So
yeah, another silly rule for them to get rid of. I'm pretty sure, you know, people appreciate that they can finally hang up lights now and do what they want.
Yeah, so they're beautiful to admire.
They are. They look cute in the backyard, like, you know. I mean,
I know Daniela, you know, my 9-year-old has string lights. She's had string lights forever. I've used them constantly throughout my decorations, whether it was Christmas or not Christmas. I mean, I would have them on for times year round because I just like them so much.
Yeah.
So that is crazy.
String lights, yeah.
So I think they're losing members, like you said. They're having to make some changes, adjust some doctrines in order to appease to the masses.
Yeah. And again, it just seems hypocritical and contradicting. All these years that they've never bent on any rules, that they've always been so strict about everything. Now all of a sudden, just because they say so, now it's okay. None of this is biblical. There's nothing in a scripture anywhere that talks about string lights or toast. There's nothing biblical about this. This is just purely 100% pure control.
Man-made
mind control.
Man-made technicalities. Right? Yeah. Oh, and what's the other one? I think that I'm good. You can briefly address disfellowship people before we leave. Yes. Unheard of.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
That's the number one, like most really sovereign rule.
Yeah.
Absolutely no contact. I mean, my brother was disfellowshipped, and it had a serious repercussions in our house. And for them to say now, you can address them,
right?
It's a shocker.
Which is interesting because I mean, imagine all these people who like you growing up with your brother being disfellowshipped and having to go through. That's a lot of trauma. People have been through a lot of trauma behind this religion and their rules, such as disfellowshipping and not going no contact with people who are disfellowshipped, people within your own household, your own family members, going no contact with them, which is crazy because you shouldn't have to do that. That's your family. That's your, you know, sibling, your parent, your brother, whoever, to now all of a sudden say it's okay, all because they said so. Exactly. It's kind of like a slap in the face to all these people where the damage has already been done.
Exactly. Which I have a podcast that talks about that. Disfellowshipping and what it did in my house.
Yeah.
And you know, the repercussions, and it's too late. The damage is done. And you know what's the sad part is that many people will not see, or they will not be held accountable because they're saying, oh, we haven't deviated really. It's just acknowledging them. But sometimes, and many of people, let's say, who commit suicide, all they needed in that moment was a simple acknowledgement,
right,
from somebody. I know myself, which back again, it had a big impact in my family, and I still struggle with the impact that had, and my brother and my mental health. But I wear shirts constantly, acknowledging the person behind me. I have several shirts that say, "Hey, person behind me, you matter," or "Hi." Simple hi. Because I read that something as simple as that has a great impact on somebody who's emotionally suffering.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, disfellowshipping goes against every single aspect of God's attributes.
Right.
Love.
Yeah, exactly.
Caring, forgiveness, understanding,
right,
recognizing, realizing we are human. And if we're here to imitate Jesus, and so are they, and to preach and follow his footsteps, what did he do? He did everything but alienate. If anything, he took the people that were alienated and he brought them closer.
Right.
He even ate with tax collectors, sat with them.
Yeah.
Shared in a meal. So yeah, all of the changes are wild. Before we leave too, I forgot all the Bibles that they have listed now.
Yeah.
They have 8 Bibles listed. 8.
So weird.
8 Bibles. Weird. Yes. Before there was only one true Bible. And also when they did the new updated version, that was the second one that we were introduced to, but we were not allowed to read any other Bible. Not the King James, not anything else. No. The standard version, nothing. So them adding all of these Bibles and making them accessible to everybody, I think a lot of people are like you said, they're catching on. They're questioning. They have access to tools and they're willing to use it and push back and say, hey, this doesn't sound right.
Right. So. Yeah, again, all this stuff is just all it does is shed light on the fact that, this religion just wants to exert mind control and power over people because, again, it's a religious cult. And they operate like a cult. They use cult tactics, and that's exactly what it is. So whatever they say goes. None of this is biblical. It's just a group of men making decisions, and it tremendously affects people's lives. They go through a lot of trauma. They go through a lot of arguments and fights within their own households, all because of the decisions they make.
Exactly. And what it should do, what it thankfully it did for us is it raised some alarms, and we were intuitive enough to catch on. But the people that are there, many of them, are just seeing it as new enlightenment, not seeing it for what it is. Man-made decisions that have real life consequences.
Yeah.
Real. And I hope that to all of those listening or seeing us for the first time, that something here rings a bell and that you can take a step back and go through the teachings and start to ask yourself, why? Why? Does God change his mind? Does Jehovah change his mind? Or Yahweh? Or
Yeah, no, the Bible is the Bible. If that's what you believe in, God's word is God's word.
Doesn't change.
It's been the same since, to my understanding, it's how always has been the same. And so I don't know, for a religion to just step in and make changes like that is just, to me, interesting, weird, and
hopefully many more people start opening their eyes and realizing that maybe it is the time to take a step back and take God. I don't know where you are personally with your relationship with God, or if you last time you said you don't even know if you believe in a higher power. I do, but I took the stance of, hey, this is God left the 10 commandments. He left a guideline and an outline for me to follow. That's all I need, is for me to make sure that I am the best Christian that I can be towards all humans, not towards one, not towards a select few, but towards all, so that whenever the day of reckoning does come, he finds me acceptable, and he can look at me and I can look at him and I say, hey, I tried my best. And this is between you and I.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you.